So, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to do a review on this Pegasus Spinosaurus model that I did, 1/24th scale. And if you look this up online, you will see the one that I did is way different than the one that you will buy. Simply because I did a lot of resculpting with milliput, epoxy putty, and I changed him around quite a bit to fit my imagination and some of the things that I've seen online with current discoveries. Anyway, let's go through him first. Let's start with his head. Excuse me. As you can see, I sculpted up his nostrils and gave him some eye guards, and that's all sculpted out with milliput. And then as you can see, the drool coming off of his mouth there, that is done with fly fishing tippet, 2 pound, and then dripping super glue on it and spraying it with rapid set or hardener, and then just manipulating it to look like he's salivating. Let me spin him around here for you, and you can see that he is got all kinds of drool. And there's another look towards his eye guards. And since he's an aquatic dinosaur, excuse me, I gave him more alligator kind of scales. And going up his scales, you can see the scoots. And the model comes with a fairly rounded sail fin, and I sculpted it up and squared it off a little bit, bringing the scoots back. And then I widened his tail because recent discoveries show that Spinosaurus had a more paddle-like tail. So you can see I widened his tail, increasing the spinal processes that come up off his tailbone on the backbone area, and gave him a little more crocodilian type finish on the end of his tail. And as you can see that as I spin him around. He's painted with one shot industrial enamel paints, glazed over with pearlescence. Part of it is airbrushed, part of it is hand brushed. And then as we go down to the base here, I did a little bit of the same as the fish. Basically base coated the fish with silver Krylon out of the can, and then painted over the top of that with the one shot, creating the more fishy shine to them, adding the blood. And the stones here are all sculpted out of milliput. And then the water, got some just basic water stuff, and the edges was made with a hot glue gun to kind of dam it in there so it doesn't flow away, but it dried fairly clear, and it helped shape that. And then sculpting the current ripples and stuff with Mod Podge. And the splashes you can see down around his toes, like he's stepping in muddy, wet surface, and it's squishing up between his toes, and also the splash right there coming off of the fish as it's being slammed to the ground, and this splash back here where the fish is slapping his tail in the mud, and the muddy water is splashing up right there. That's actually made with a hot glue gun, getting the basic shape out on a wax paper, and then bending it to the position I want, gluing it in place, and then pouring strategically super glue over the top of that and spraying it with Quickset so it hardens and it holds its shape. Then I added the mud in here for the terrain and the plants. And basically, it turned out pretty nice. So let me back up a little bit here, get it back in focus. This is my Spinosaurus, my version of the Pegasus Spinosaurus model kit. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll get back with you on my next build.